being all possessive,
Yeah,
and he likes it.
he
His
likes
father
all
said
that
it, and
crazy.
so did
Yeah,
he.
he likes all that.
Justin.
Yeah, he likes all that crazy behavior. Okay, so it's review time again. Um, so as always, we pick up where we left off last time, and Charles is in Candace's hotel room, and she's like,
Stalker
"Wes, he's a
Charles.
stalker." And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's all like, "That's not the greeting I expected." And he goes through. He starts talking about all the information he has on Candace, what he
Uh-huh.
has gotten her out of. And she didn't ask him to do this stuff, but he did it, and now he expects her to comply with what he wants, which is for her to be first lady. He's like, "You've been chosen." I'm like, okay, that was
That
cultish.
prostitute
That was
turned
crazy.
him out. He doesn't have
Yes.
boyfriend.
And he's just gonna force her to do that, and she's saying no, no, no. And he's like, "What if I was to slap them?" I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Why would you say that?" And
Well, you're used to
he
being
said
pussy.
he says she likes foolishness. She likes foolishness. And he implied before that at one point or another he had been out in the streets doing stuff, and that he was thuggish before he, a long time ago, before he got into politics and
Forget
stuff.
to
He had
say
implied
she
that
said
before.
something's wrong with you.
Yeah, she did, and she doesn't want any part of that. And then he brings up Q, her son. She doesn't like that, but then she starts talking about
For the
that a
first
little bit.
time.
For the first time, she starts talking about that, and after that, she tells Charles something is wrong with you, and she says something about this does not feel right, and when something does not feel right, you don't do it. But of course, he's not done, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So over at the bar, Mitch and his family, he's trying to get them to
Off they hit on
call off
Benny.
the hit on Benny, because they want the interest, and he says, I want to talk to Mama Rose. She's not at the restaurant yet. She's not going to be there till later. And they're all like, "What are you? What? Why are you trying to protect him? Are you fruity or something?" And he looked at it. "Don't you ever say that again." He looked at the guy like, "If you say that again, I'll break your neck." That's how he looked at him, like. And I said, "Break your neck," like, because that's what Walona said to Mrs. Gordon when she came in her house and tried to set her up. That's where I got that line from. And so he calls Benny, and he lets him know that they still want it. He's like, "Oh, but I gave the money back." And then he's like, "Well, wait a minute. Maybe I can get the money." And Mitchell's like, "How are you going to do that?" And he's like, I'm going to get it." So he goes back into the bank office, the banker's office, and he says, "I'm not going to sign the papers." But okay, but wait. Before that, he starts talking to Hannah, and he's like, "Well, what if somebody's really trying to kill Candace? What if she's telling the truth?" And Hannah's like, she lies, and we're giving this money back." And he keeps going and going and going, and Hannah just says, it's just like praying. She's like, I'm praying, please give me the strength not to slap him in the mouth. And he was just doing the most. And the banker gets back in there, and he's like, "No, I'm not signing the papers. No, no." He's saying it like a 10-year-old, and he walked out of there. And of course, Hannah was kind of embarrassed, and she's asked, and there's no way I can get this money transferred back. And without two signatures on a joint account, you can't do anything. As far as transferring the money back, you can't get it back. So that money's stuck in that account you know, until Benny comes to his senses, which it doesn't look like he's going to do that
He
anytime
doesn't
soon.
have any senses to come to.
That's right.
You notice that dumb blank look
It's
on
like,
his face?
duh,
Good looks and no brain.
duh. It's like,
Yeah. Clueless.
yeah. And so, okay, wait, where are we going next? Okay, so Candace is in her room sleep. She hears her door open, and here comes Landon and some other people. There's two women. Um, One of them was the other assistant. She had told Landon, back off of Charles, and or you're gonna cause him trouble. Back off. And there was another woman there, and she had dresses, and they're just going to make Candace play this part. And she's saying once again, I'm not gonna do it, but he needs a wife now that he's president. So it's like kind of about image now. She keeps saying, um, I'm not gonna do it. Landon goes off on her, and he's like, well, he wanted a real Southern lady, but for whatever reason now he wants somebody ghetto and street and all of that. And Candace is like looking at Landon, and I guess she was too, shocked by the whole situation to punch him out from saying all that stuff. Because he went too far saying all that stuff about being ghetto and all that. So, after that, Hannah has to go and tell Catherine that Benny won't sign the papers. And here comes Jim. He goes off on Hannah. He's threatening her. He's threatening Benny, and she was just not having it. They had this whole big argument, and she said that's the last time you threatened me, and she quits the job working for Catherine, and of course Catherine's not happy about that, and she goes outside and tries to get Hannah to change her mind, and Hannah does not change her mind. In fact, she just okay. Okay, let me finish this up. Sorry for the interruption. So now where was I at? Okay, so we were talking about Hannah. So Hannah had enough of all that mess of Jim yelling at her. She quit her job and she left. Catherine tried to convince her not to do that. And finally she just said, you know what? I don't even want the car. I don't even want the car. She gets out the car. Yeah, he told Hannah about you're driving my daughter's car.
What is wrong with Catherine letting that old
I said, I think she still likes him and just wants him around.
He's a scrub.
Yeah, scrub. And finally, Hannah just says, "You know what? I don't even want the car. I'm gonna walk." She took off her shoes and started walking. I'm gonna catch the bus. And and Hannah was walking, and then Derek showed up. Like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm going for the bus." It's like, forget all this. I don't want any part of this now. So
Did she have a liquor bowl?
oh God, Carlotta in Star. That scene was so. That was just like that was a rock bottom scene. Walking down the middle of the street with a liquor bottle with no shoes on. Anyway,
She didn't have no liquor bowl.
yeah. Okay. So Wyatt could hear what was going on. He was lurking around, and Jim had yelled at him, "This doesn't concern you." And so after he hears what has happened, he calls Candace. And how he had her number, I don't understand, because they don't like each other. They're not friends. So why would he have her number? I don't understand that.
Some connections to Jeffrey.
Maybe so, yeah. So he calls her, and he's trying to find a way to get his money back and he's like, well, my mom has a lot of money. I can help you get money, even though I don't like you. And she's like, I'll think about it. And I don't know where that's gonna go, if they're gonna try to cook up some scheme to steal money from Catherine or what, but we'll see what happens with that.
But it's not going to work because that guy that's trying to get it.
Yeah, Broderick is trying to get. Yeah, right. Broderick might tell her. So now Veronica walks into the hotel and goes to the bar, She brings RK a shirt for Jeffrey. It's by his favorite designer in the color he likes. And then she brings RK a payment, gives RK a payment, the first payment to do what she wants him to do. Now she has ordered some coffee, and she spills it on RK and burns him, so he has to go to the hospital where Jeffrey is at. And the burn is the least, should be the least of his worries, because she's going to have him killed, as we saw last week. That is her plan. So, and he's going to go along with it at this point, because it's clear that she's crazy. So, of course, and he has to go to the hospital anyway, because he has a severe burn from hot coffee. So, over at the hospital, David was having some chest discomfort, and off of that we see that at the nurse's station, Justin keeps calling Madison. He's calling him over and over and over again, 10 times. Yeah, 10 times. And the other nurse, she's getting irritated. You need, answer that, do something. And finally Madison turns his phone off. And what else did he do? Didn't he give Jeffrey some information about domestic violence or something? Yeah, he gave him, and Jeffrey is just says the stupidest thing, like, "But I'm a guy," and I'm like,
And you're a therapist.
yeah, he was studying to, because he had worked at Veronica's drug facility. Whatever happened to that? You haven't heard anything about that facility since the first season. And so after that, Justin shows up and does the usual crazy act, yada yada yada. I'm nuts.
And Jeffrey likes it.
Yes, he does.
Said it and Justin said it.
And that's right. He had said that smartness about to Madison. What makes you think I like you, or something like that? And I'm like, anyway. So. The episode ends with David's monitor going off, and all the doctors and nurses rush in there, and he's peering in the window. It did look pitiful, but other than that, he's a he's a lot like Veronica. He's a lot like Veronica. So. That was the review. So, as always, if you have something to say, leave a comment below, and like and subscribe, and I will see you next episode.